Hello and welcome to Module 2, The Greeks. We will begin with a look at early Greece, and we'll want to explore how it was that the geography of Greece affected or contributed to Greek history and the development of Greece as we know it. We'll then want to look at the so-called Dark Age of Greek history, a period that we don't know much about, but during which was written the works of Homer. And we'll want to see how and why his works were used as a basis for Greek education, even into and through the classical period. From there, we move on to the world of the Greek city-states, or as the Greeks referred to them, the polis or poloi. Um, we'll want to look at the chief features of the polis, and we'll want to contrast and compare the two major city-states or poloi of Athens and Sparta. Then we'll take a look at the high point of Greek civilization, classical Greece. What did the Greeks mean when they used the term democracy? In what ways was the Athenian political system a democracy? What effect did the two great conflicts of the 5th century BCE, the Persian Wars and the Peloponnesian War, have on Greek civilization? These are the questions that we'll be examining in this section of the module. Then we'll want to talk about the culture and society of classical Greece. What were the ideals that classical Greek art was based on? How are these ideals expressed? And maybe more importantly, the rise of philosophy and the questions that Greek philosophers posed and the significance of the answers that they suggested. From there, we move on to the Hellenistic world, that world of Greece after the classical period, that begins with the rise of Macedonia and the conquests of Alexander. We want to see, of course, how it was that Alexander was able to amass his empire and perhaps speculate as to what his rule might have been like had he lived longer. Then we'll want to look at the world of the Hellenistic kingdoms. We want to see what their main features were, especially their political and military organizations, and how these new political systems developed during the Hellenistic period differed from those of the Greek city-states during the classical period. And then finally, we'll see what the main social developments were of the Hellenistic world. Then we'll finish up the module by looking at two non-material aspects of this latter stage of Greek civilization. First, we'll look at the culture of the Hellenistic world. We'll examine the achievements in literature and art, science, and philosophy during this period. And finally, we'll conclude with a look at religion in the Hellenistic period. What were the religions that were prominent during the Hellenistic period? And we'll look at what their popularity suggests about society in Hellenistic Greece. And that will get us prepared to move forward into the next module where we'll cover Rome.